The only way to date successfully. You know what's wild? We live in a world obsessed with dating apps, red flags, and relationship goals, yet most of us never stop to ask one simple question. Do I actually love myself enough to handle love in the first place? Sounds deep, right? But here's the truth. No matter how many dates you go on, no matter how many people you meet, none of it will go right if you haven't first built a healthy relationship with the person in the mirror. This isn't spiritual fluff or self-help cliches. It's emotional survival in the modern dating jungle. So today, let's talk about how learning to love yourself might just be the secret to finding real love, and why walking away, choosing yourself, and setting boundaries are the ultimate power moves in the dating game. The hardest relationship is with yourself. Let's start with the obvious. Dating is supposed to be about finding someone to love, but if we're honest, most of us skip step one, building a healthy, trusting, and kind relationship with ourselves. Think about it. How can you recognize kindness in someone else if you don't know what it feels like within you? How can you demand respect if you can't yet give it to yourself? When you don't have self-love, you walk into relationships hungry for validation. You accept crumbs because you're not convinced you deserve the full meal. You fall for anyone who gives you attention because deep down you confuse being chosen with being worthy. This self-suspicion, that quiet voice that says, maybe I'm not good enough, it infects everything. It blinds you to who actually deserves your time. And then every rejection feels catastrophic, because instead of thinking, that didn't work out, the brain says, see, you're not lovable. That's not dating. That's emotional self-harm disguised as romance. But here's the flip side. When you truly value yourself, rejection doesn't destroy you. It informs you. It becomes data, not a death sentence. Discernment. The secret superpower of dating. You've probably heard people say you have to know what you want. That's half the truth. The real challenge is knowing what you deserve. Dating tests our ability to discern, to tell the difference between genuine affection and emotional manipulation, between compatibility and chemistry, between loneliness and love. Self-worth is your compass in that storm. Let's make it practical. If someone takes days to reply to your text, leaving you hanging, that's not mystery, that's disrespect. If someone makes you feel anxious or small while calling it love, that's not passion, that's power play. If you have to convince yourself they're right for you on paper, but your gut screams no, your intuition's waving the red flag for a reason. Walk away every single time. Because here's something people forget. Walking away isn't rejection, it's protection. You're protecting your peace, your time, and your emotional energy. And trust me, the pool of potential partners is not limited. Love isn't some rare magical coin you only get one shot at. There are billions of people out there, and the situation can change in an instant. A new job, a new city, a random encounter at a bookstore or coffee shop. The dating pool refills itself every day. So never fall for the scarcity mindset that says, I better hold on to whoever I can. You're not renting a lifeboat in a storm. You're choosing a co-pilot for life. The power of self-respect in dating. One of the hardest but most freeing lessons in dating is that self-respect must always come before emotional attachment. Let's be real. Most of us were raised with some romantic myth that love conquers all, or that you'll find your other half. Cute ideas, sure, but dangerously misleading. Because if you believe love fixes everything, you'll tolerate things you shouldn't. You'll stay in half-hearted, one-sided relationships, hoping they'll magically get better. Let's change that mindset. Try these mental shifts. You are not half of anything. You're already whole. Love doesn't complete you, it complements you. Staying single isn't failure, it's clarity. Here's a rule of thumb that could save months of pain. If you ever feel obligated to stay when your heart feels uncomfortable, that's your cue to get out. Emotional obligation without comfort is bondage, not love. You see, self-love acts like your body's immune system. Just as your physical immune system rejects toxins, your self-love rejects mistreatment. But if it's weak, you'll absorb everything: toxic partners, chaotic situations, emotional abuse, thinking that's just part of dating. Strong self-love makes you allergic to nonsense.
Attraction and intuition. Now, let's talk attraction, the part no one wants to admit matters as much as it does. Yes, emotional compatibility is crucial, but attraction isn't superficial. It's biological information. If that spark is missing, you can't force it. You can respect someone, admire their kindness, have a great intellectual bond, but if that extra something isn't there, don't feel guilty. Friendship isn't a substitute for chemistry. Letting go of the should can be liberating, like I should like them because they're so nice, or I shouldn't care about physical attraction because that's shallow. No, you're not demanding perfection, you're honoring your truth. Here's the twist. When you learn to listen to your intuition, when your internal compass isn't clouded by fear or desperation, attraction starts aligning with emotional health, not with trauma or adrenaline. You stop chasing people who ignore you just because it feels familiar. You stop calling anxiety butterflies. And you stop falling for drama disguised as intensity. Because drama isn't love. It's a nervous system stuck in fight or flight. Why we must walk away quickly. Every time you ignore your intuition, your self-trust erodes. And once self-trust goes, everything else starts to wobble. That's why walking away quickly is so critical. If you get a bad feeling early on, that sinking sense that something's off, don't rationalize it. Don't say, maybe I'm overthinking. You're not. You're accurately perceiving. The dating process is basically a long series of interviews, and you're the CEO hiring for the most important role in your life. You wouldn't hire someone who shows up late, lies on their resume, or makes you feel unsafe. So why do we hire those people emotionally? It's not being picky. It's being precise. And yes, every rejection will sting. But here's the truth that sets you free. Rejection isn't proof you're unlovable. It's proof something wasn't aligned. That's it. It doesn't mean you're broken. It means your standards are working. Dealing with rejection and loneliness. Let's face it, dating is exhausting. Writing and deleting text drafts, getting ghosted, feeling that mini heartbreak every time something almost works out. It's like emotional Groundhog Day. So you have to build resilience, because there are going to be nights where you question everything. Like, why is this so hard? Why can't I just meet someone decent? When that happens, pause, take a break, breathe. Talk to that one friend who tells you the truth, not just what you want to hear. Dating burnout is real. It can make you start settling, but don't. Solitude, as painful as it can be, is always better than silent misery beside the wrong person. Write that down somewhere. Being alone is better than being with someone who drains your soul. At least solitude leaves space for hope. Recognizing toxic traits early. Here's another harsh truth. Some people you'll meet just aren't well. Mental illness, unresolved trauma, commitment fears, these things are common, but they're not excuses for cruelty, manipulation, or inconsistency. You're not a rehab center. You're not their therapist. Your heart is not a charity project. Be kind, be compassionate, but protect your peace. Look out for the smiling avoiders, the ones who lead you on because they're too polite to be honest. Their niceness is just cowardice in disguise. These shapeshifters waste months of your emotional time. Learn to spot them and step back early. Remember, you're auditioning for emotional maturity, not charm. Patience, faith, and the final truth about love. The final and hardest lesson about dating is patience. The world teaches instant gratification. Amazon delivery, same-day results, swipe right happiness. But love doesn't work like that. It takes time because people are complicated, and finding genuine compatibility takes even longer. So if you're still single this time next year or even the year after that, don't panic. It means you're playing the long game. You're waiting for alignment, not company. And that's rare courage in today's world. Love isn't a race, it's a homecoming. Every failed date, every awkward conversation, every ghosted message, they're all breadcrumbs leading you back to yourself. And when you finally meet that right person, you won't feel fireworks or anxiety or obsession. You'll feel peace. You'll feel seen. And in that moment, every lonely dinner, every tear, every maybe I should give up will make perfect sense. Because love isn't just about finding someone who fits you. It's about becoming someone who knows they're worth being loved by.
Q&A segment. Q1. What if I keep attracting emotionally unavailable people? Then you're probably replaying an emotional pattern from childhood, trying to earn love instead of receiving it freely. The solution isn't chasing harder, it's healing the part of you that thinks love must be earned. Q2. How do I know if I've healed enough to date? When you can walk away from what's wrong without needing closure. When peace matters more than attention. When rejection no longer feels like proof of your flaws. Q3. Is it okay to take a break from dating? Absolutely. Taking a break isn't giving up, it's recalibrating. You're learning to rest, not to quit. Q4. Can someone love me even if I don't fully love myself yet? Yes. But that love won't feel stable, because no matter how kind they are, you'll keep doubting it until you believe you deserve it. So, here's the final reminder. Dating will always be messy, awkward, and sometimes heartbreaking. But if you love yourself fiercely, if you stay on your own side no matter what, none of it will break you. Because the truth is, you are not unlovable. You're just in the process of finding a love that reflects the same care, clarity, and courage you're learning to give yourself. Stay patient, stay open, and above all, stay on your own team. Because the moment you fall in love with your own life, you become magnetic. Love doesn't rush in. It recognizes you.